Live.
Now,
Live, and gonna strive to make a show.
yeah, let's go out on Twitter.
Yeah, we're
See,
out. We're out everywhere. We're on the tweets and on the
yeah,
Twitches and on the bleeps
uh,
and the bloops. YouTubes. Me tubes.
my friend Carrie interviewed Alex Winter from Bill and Ted, right?
Yeah.
And she said that she got him to tell him what the S in Bill's name is.
Bill S. Preston.
Yeah, what does the S
Uh,
stand for?
Sebastian.
She got him to say it, and that's what journalism's for.
Is it Sebastian?
I don't know. She didn't say what it
Oh.
was.
I, I would just think Johann Sebastian Bach. Bill S. Preston.
Man, Twitch looks good. Twitch, I mean not to
Ted
Twitter.
Theodore Logan. Twitter. That is the
Look,
new hot spot to watch this podcast. Is just fire up your Twitter. Follow us at Apathusiast,
ooh, Twilight Zone podcast is watching us right now.
at Rick and Morty. Wait, that's you.
Wait,
Uh,
just
wait
wow.
a second. Um.
Go back on the Twitch now. Actually,
Okay. We should probably record a show.
yeah, we should. We should indeed. Okay. Well, let me open up the show notes from last week, episode 170's show notes.
Make sure you get the right ones.
And yeah, I can tell it's last week because we still have all this Patreon stuff on there.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to talk about that again.
Bing, bing, bing. Yeah.
We need to flesh this out right here. This part. I just need to know what the code is and stuff.
Oh yeah. That's easy enough. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. Cool.
Boom. All right,
Boom.
you ready?
Easy.
Ready to record?
Yeah. Do you want to give me a count?
Yeah. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Well, that we did it. Tune in next week.
That's podcast. All right.
We're good.
Cut and print. Cut and print.
Next week we're going to talk about jelly beans.
Mmm. King jelly beans.
We're talking about our top 5 jelly bean flavors next week on Apathetic Enthusiasm. You heard it here
Will
first.
black licorice make the top 10? You will have to tune in to find out.
This is your call to action for our 78 listeners for this podcast. You want to hear that hard hitting shit? Well, you got to tune in next week.
Are we going to actually start the show?
See you later. Okay.
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
I need to hear Matt.
You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Hey, everybody. It's time to talk about Grounded and other things among us and playing video games in the middle of the night. This is Apathetic Enthusiasm.
That is right, friends and family, Apathetic Enthusiasm, where we take what you want to listen to, what you want to hear about, and we draft it into a hard-hitting documentary series.
Yeah, an expose on all of the documentary. we document. We
Yeah.
documentary. Hi, everybody. I'm Travis.
Hey everybody, I'm Brandon. And before we get going, I want to start something. We're starting a new segment right here right now. I'm surprising Travis with it. It's called Pathetic Enthusiasm.
Oh, jeez. Is this where we ad lib an advertisement because we don't have ads?
Yes, that's right. Pathetic Enthusiasm. Travis, I don't know if you know about podcast hosting.
Oh, I've been hosting a podcast for several years now, Brandon.
No, Travis. I don't think you know about podcast hosting.
Wait, are you talking about sites and organizations that allow you to store your podcast audio online for distribution across the internet?
You know what? Maybe you do know a lot about podcast hosting, Travis. And if that's the case, you must know about Blueberry's hosting services. We host for Blueberry.
Yeah, we do.
Sponsored.
That's all I know about it because you handle everything else with Blueberry. But is it hard to use?
It's not hard at all, Travis. Here's what you do. There are WordPress integrations through PowerPress, or you can just upload your audio directly to the Blueberry website. Do some MP3 tag. I don't know. Do some other stuff. It's great. It's so easy.
So ad-lib. So
Even
ad-lib.
Travis could do it.
Even Travis could do it. Not likely. But if you are thinking of starting a podcast and you need a place to store your audio so that everyone can get it, whether they're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever they're listening to their podcasts, you could give Blueberry a try. And they should, I guess,
a month
right?
free. You get a month free if you use the code AEPOD.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. If they sign up and use the code AEPOD, P-O-D, they get a month free, Brandon. That's amazing.
It is amazing. As a matter of fact, I might use that code to get us another month free.
Ooh, we should try that.
Shit.
Also, we didn't plan that ad at all, guys. So thank you guys so much for sitting through it. Welcome to the show where but that is a legitimate, it sounds completely like made up because we don't do that, but Blueberry is an actual site. If you guys want to start a podcast, you can get a month free. Use the code AEPOD. And thank you for using that code if you sign up over at Blueberry. How do you spell Blueberry, Brandon?
That is BLUBRRY.
Yeah, yeah, it's not like the fruit. So it can be tricky, guys. Anyway, we are going to talk about all sorts of things tonight, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear about the things that you guys are doing, the things that you're interested in. So make sure to follow us over at Twitter at Apathusiast. I'm at Jogomino. He's at Barnyard Cruise. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm Show. Send us an email with your questions, comments, thoughts, apatheticenthusiasmshow@gmail.com. Instagram is apathetic_enthusiasm, and this show, as well as all of our other podcast endeavors, over at apatheticenthusiasm.com. We are currently streaming all across the internet: twitch.tv/apatheticenthusiasm, youtube.com/apatheticenthusiasm, and you can follow along on Twitter. If you follow us, you can watch the video right there in your Twitter feed. Finally, if that prolonged advertisement wasn't cringy enough, you can also support the show at apatheticenthusiasm.com/shop. That'll take you to our TeePublic page where you can get t-shirts with Rick and Morty faces on them, with our faces on them. You can even get the Unity t-shirt. It's back in the shop. Go check it out. And then patreon.com/Rick and Morty pod. Only a couple days left of our special event. If you sign up at any tier, you can get some amazing perks. And higher tiers get even better stuff, like Brandon's brand new special podcast series. It's I guess it's a podcast series. What you wanna pitch it real quick, Brandon?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go out there on our third tier, it's a series that I came up with called It's on Random Playlist Storytelling with Brandon. And boiled down, it is this. I have my Spotify playlist and that I've been building up over the years. I get a random song from that playlist, and then I tell a little story about it as we listen to it together. And yeah, the stories could be about me, it could be about other people, it could be about nothing, but it doesn't matter because it's on random.
It's on random.
And yeah, so that's a perk. I took a long time to try to develop it and figure it out, and I think it's pretty cool.
Tell you guys, I listened to the first episode. I love it. I'm gonna become a patron just so I can get more episodes.
You cannot listen unless you give me.
Yeah, I'm gonna reinvest. All right, guys, that's enough formalities. It's time to get into conversations, things that we've been doing, things that we've been playing specifically, and. Saturday night we did a bit of a live stream over on Twitch and YouTube, playing a game that is in early access, available on Xbox. It's a Game Pass game. I don't know if this is out anywhere else. I'm sure we could look it up. But of course, we're talking about a game called Grounded.
Grounded.
And I don't know, like I'm gonna let you describe the basic premise, Brandon.
Okay. If you've been to Disneyland in the last however many years, you might have gone to where you expected Captain EO to be. Well, Captain EO wasn't there for a while. It came back. Whatever. Just ignore that part. Ignore that part. And they replaced Captain EO for a time with this very special ride, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, based off of the excellent movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with Rick Moranis back in the mid 90s. And
I can't tell you how long Honey, I Shrunk the Audience hasn't been there.
I can't tell you how long it's been since I've been to Disneyland.
I can tell you how long it's been since I've been to Disneyland.
Well, actually,
4 years.
Because I didn't see Captain EO when it was there.
1 month, 3 weeks.
Then they put Honey, I Shrunk the Audience in there.
You've seen Captain EO though, right?
I have, because then they brought it back.
Okay.
And it was I remember when I saw Captain EO, it was my brother had just graduated high school, so this is around 2010-ish, and maybe a little bit early, 2008, 2010. But we went and we went with Sizemore. Sizemore went with his girlfriend at the time. And my brother had gone to grad night at Six Flags Magic Mountain the night before. And he was up all night long at Magic Mountain. Got home. We immediately went to Disneyland after that. And I love my brother, but he was such a grumpy little shithead. And I think he's well aware of it. And
that's so funny, because my grad night was at Disneyland. So,
yeah, ours
which Magic Mountain was like a good extra like hour's drive from Disneyland or so.
I didn't go to my grad night, actually. It was at Disneyland, but I went to the grad night the year before. I went with a couple of my friends who were seniors, and that was the first time I saw the Aquabats live.
How did you swing that?
I got invited.
Oh,
I think. I don't remember how I got in, but yeah, it was for the seniors, and
I'm trying to think, like, could non-seniors go with us? I'm wondering if my girlfriend at the time came with us. She might have.
I went with my I was a junior class president, and
humble brag. Watch out, guys.
that's not vote for the GOAT. That was my slogan. My the senior class vice president, David Black, was my friend, and I would hang out with him, and we just wander the halls during our associated student body period, right, which is second period.
Classic high school slacker, this guy right here.
And so he was my friend, and I think he was like, "Hey, you want to go to grad night?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I ended up being his +1 for that. But then I didn't go for my senior year because I was like, I don't like high school.
I already did it.
It. Been there.
I was, and still am, a Disney theme park fanatic. Shut your. So I was so excited to go to Disney grad night, which brings us all back to the game Grounded. But I will say, when you brought up Disney parks, I thought you were going to talk about Disney World having the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids land, which they had about 10 years ago at Hollywood Studios, previously MGM Studios. But now it's gone because now it's Toy Story Land. Same premise. Everything is giant scaled, and you're walking around like all these gigantic things in a backyard and big blades of grass and stuff, but slightly different theming.
That's not what I was going to talk about at all. I haven't been to Disney World since I've been here in Florida.
Yeah, you gotta go, man.
I was gonna go this year. Our tax return happened, and we're like, okay, cool, let's do it. Let's get some hopper passes.
Slap those masks on and head over to the Magic Kingdom, bro. Just social distance your way through the many lands of the Magic Kingdom. Oh boy, please stay 6 feet away. Oh.
Mickey, put your fucking mask on.
He's like, Anyway, yeah, we played Grounded. That's a game where you pick a teenager. I guess. I mean, the characters seem like they're teenagers, and you suddenly wake up very small, about the size of an ant, and you are then left to explore the what looks like a backyard. I think it's called they call it the yard, I think. And you can see a house in the distance, huge scale. And you start exploring. You find some technology, and there's a few different uh, objectives that you have to carry out. What were your initial thoughts when playing through this? I don't know, alpha beta version of this game. I don't. It's definitely
It says it's an alpha,
okay.
so we'll just go with that. Before we played it on Saturday night, I loaded up. I'm like, okay, let's check this out. And I forget what day I had played it, but it was at like 11:30 at night, and I was tired already, so I loaded it up. I got to like the first science station, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was picking up rocks. I'm like, oh, there's a giant ant, or a regular size ant, I should say, and like, oh, this is kind of cool. Well, we should play this with Travis. And then I fell asleep on the couch, and that's where I stayed the rest of the night. When we started playing it together, it was like, okay, all right, this is fun with somebody else,
Yeah.
and just exploring this kind of. It feels like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It just, in the sense, like, they are a bunch of kids. You get to pick one of four characters, two boys, two girls.
Yep.
One's name is
Yep.
Oops.
I mean, we're not assuming gender, but sure.
Yeah. And so you get to pick one of them, and so I assume the multiplayer is only up to 4 players eventually.
Yeah, currently.
And I dug it. I dug it. Like, yelling at you to, like, hey, there's a giant ladybug. Oh, the spider's attacking me. The spider's attacking me.
Ah, there's mites everywhere. What are we gonna do? Yeah.
And you quickly going through the story part of the game, and like and doing the objectives, and me still running around like trying to figure out how to chop down a blade of grass, so initial thought, I'm like, okay, this could be fun. A little bit different from Minecraft, but
Yeah.
still have those base building type of mechanics to there. Well, I mean, what'd you think when you loaded it up?
I definitely liked the art style, the environment of the game, because they did a great job with scale in terms of feeling like you were a shrunk down person and everything seemed big. Like the blades of grass feel like trees. Some of the other details, like giant juice boxes that have been littered in the backyard, things like that. That stuff is really great. I liked the base building mechanic. Once you chop down blades of grass, after a while, you get these grass planks that then you can use to build structures out of. And the actual like mechanic for that is you plan out where you want to put the walls, so you can actually like build like a house, but then it's not physically there until you load the planks into it, which is kind of nice, because then you can plan everything, and then someone else can come back later and say, oh, okay, here's where I have to put something. So it's a nice way to work with other people to build a structure.
What I like about that is you see the visible. Okay, this is where we're going to put all these walls. But I think the other piece of that is you can only, it's not like Minecraft where you could just stock up on hundreds and hundreds of blades of grass. You can only carry up to like 4 or 5 planks of grass at a time, and each wall would cost 4 blades of grass, and so having that kind of blueprint, like, this is where I'm going to put this. This is where I'm going to put this. I'm going to go chop some blades of grass, come back and build the wall kind of systematically. That way you don't forget like, oh, I wanted to put a second story here.
Right. Yeah.
You have a visual representation of it. So I did like that, in kind of synergizing with the inventory management of it.
With that said, I feel like almost every other UI element I had an issue with in terms of like even to the point of you have like a hotbar on the bottom of like your different tools and things. There wasn't an intuitive way to switch between those. You had to like open up a circular menu and then pick like which one on the bar. I was like, why do I have a bar if I can't just like cycle through them? And maybe it's my Minecraft days, like having that expectation, but even like navigating through like your D-pad, each direction had a different function, but they eventually got you into like a menu system where you could just filter through all of it, and you could see your map and you could see your crafting table and things like that. I feel like the devs need to work a little bit more on streamlining those menus so that it's easier for people to get to stuff, because that was my biggest hang up throughout the entire time we were playing is like, okay, how do I need to craft a new item. How do I hit down and then I press this way on the circle. Okay, now I'm on here. Okay. I don't even have enough materials. Go back, like figure out which materials I need. And then even like I crafted like a hood and then it like dropped it into an inventory slot that I had never even seen. And so it wasn't actually on my person until later. I was like, oh, I have to go over here and actually apply it, basically. Yeah, equip it. So I don't know. Did you have any issues, or am I just completely alone in that regard?
No, definitely not alone. We were there the entire time together, so you weren't alone.
That is a fair point.
Well, no, I agree with you on both parts. I'll start with the one we talked about the most recently, which is in the menus. Because in the menu you have a crafting menu, you have a map, you have an inventory, you have a kind of a glossary almost of what you have and what you've analyzed. There's a science station where you can analyze materials and then unlock new recipes for things.
Yeah.
And so we'll start with the crafting menu. You right bumper to the crafting menu. And then once you're in the crafting menu, there's a bunch subcategories for crafting. There's materials, there's workbench things, there's armor, blah, 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 all these different categories. And to get to those different categories, you press the right trigger, I think. And here's my problem. Every time I went to a menu, I'm like, okay, I want to craft something. I would go in, press the start button, and then I want to go over to crafting away from inventory, and I would press maybe like the right trigger or whatever it is, one of the trigger buttons, and then it would switch the subcategory menu. I'm like, no, that's the top. That should be the top thing that switches, and then the RB and the left LB should be the one that switched the subcategory menu. Yeah. The main one is trigger. The sub is the bumpers, and every time I would screw it up. And it's one of those things where you only lose half a second, 5 seconds at the most. You're like, oh no, I'm supposed to go back. But when those 5 seconds happen over and over again every time you go into the menus, then it gets a little perturbing.
And that's one of those things where it's just they've got the game out in front of people. Hopefully they have focus groups or things that are playing it and they're getting feedback directly from users. But that's something that I would fully expect the team to continue to work on and improve before this gets out into like a final release, because it feels like they just put a lot of options out there and they're still maybe trying to sort out exactly how, because ideally a menu, you don't want to think about it. You just you move right through it and you don't have to think, okay, now what do I hit for this? And the buttons for this are just not lined up in such a way that it's intuitive on how to get to stuff.
And I would say to the first thing you brought up, when you're in the world, you're wandering through the miniaturized yard, and you build yourself an axe, and the axe gets put into a menu, and on the bottom of the screen you have the traditional Minecraft, quick item selection menu, and on Minecraft, what you just right trigger or bumper or whatever, like you can switch to that pretty quickly. You're like, I want to.
I click wheel through, or just hit the numbers. Either way.
Okay, yeah. But like
if you're playing PC,
uh,
you just bright bumper your way through those. Otherwise, on the console.
quick and easy on there. But you see, similar in Grounded, you see all those options at the bottom of the screen. Well, when you press right bumper or left bumper or right trigger, then you do the action that you are of whatever thing you have currently equipped. If you have a pebble, you would throw the pebble with RB.
Yeah.
And okay, well, all right. Well, I want a quick swap to my hammer. It's in the slot right next to my axe. Let me maybe just press the right directional pad. Nope, that brings up the emoji menu.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, in order for me to switch things, I have to hold left trigger and then use my right thumbstick to select the option. And then if I let go of the left trigger, it doesn't actually select that. It doesn't actually make me equip that thing. You actually have to press the A button to equip it. And sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes you are already equipped. It's already equipped. And if I have the axe equipped and I do the thumbstick and then the wheel and I select the axe, then it actually unequips, and then I have nothing. And then sometimes you actually throw the things down. Oh, it's just going to the intuitive thing. I'm gonna say Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, you have the weapon wheel, whatever. You hold the left bumper, it brings up the weapon wheel, thumbstick, real quick. You want to pick your sniper rifle. Tick 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 tick. Okay, select the sniper rifle, let go, and then you equip that. There's an extra button you don't need to press for it, unless you're trying to eat like a mushroom or something.
And I think there may be a little bit of the developer being like, we're gonna come up with a new menu system that works our way, and if it works really well, that's great, but sometimes it doesn't work well, and sometimes you just have to do what other games are doing.
Yeah.
So because gamers are used to moving around that way, and so borrow some menu type stuff from other games, and I think you're gonna be fine. Grounded.
There's some things that are like they get hectic when the spiders are all of a sudden start chasing after, or a bunch of spider mites start attacking you out of nowhere. You're like, I don't want to hit them. I want to hit them with a weapon. Left trigger, scroll wheel. Oh, let me find the axe. And meanwhile, the mites are like, I'm eating you.
Yeah, that definitely moments where you're being attacked by bugs or something is not the time when you want to struggle through 6 steps to find the proper tool with which to defend yourself from the wolf spider. Speaking of spiders and the scale of this game, spiders are huge. I found it very interesting that there is a warning on the menu of this game that lets you know if you have arachnophobia, that the spiders are huge, and if that is going to be a problem for you, you can like change the size of them basically in the settings so that it doesn't actually change the gameplay, I guess, but it like lessens the effects of arachnophobia or something. So I was like, all right, well, that feels like somebody on the team had a personal like incident or something, and they're like, yeah, we should include that, because that's the first time I've seen that in a game. I thought that was interesting.
Those let's talk about the insects we see in this game. You see aphids, you see, I mentioned mites, spiders, ants. The ladybugs are they don't attack you, but those things are frightening. Like
if
I'm
it
almost
sneaks up on you, yeah, you're like, oh, there's a ladybug, and it's
because
like
their eyes
it's
glow red.
gigantic.
Their eyes would glow red. I'm like, get out of here! And I like just very hesitantly like walked up to one, like, please don't kill me, Mister Ladybug.
Don't think I'm an aphid or whatever you eat. And
Yeah.
there's like little gnats and
Oh yeah, gnats.
smaller bugs that you can actually that you can like hunt almost and eventually use
For
to craft
food, yeah.
food. That's another aspect of this game that we didn't really talk about. There is along with stamina and health, there's also a like hydration and food meter. So you have to manage all of those levels. You have to continually find food to make sure that your health meters can replenish itself if you get hurt, and if you aren't drinking water, then you'll get, I don't know, dehydrated and
Yeah,
yeah,
and good water, clean water.
that's right.
I dug that little aspect of it where you there's standing water that you can drink, and just like any other game, like you can drink it. It's not good for you,
Yeah,
but in order to get clean drinking water, dew ends up on the like the leaves of grass, and so if you chop down a blade of grass, then the dewdrop will fall down, and then you can drink you can drink that dew. Or we mentioned the juice box or the soda can. You can also like get some of those droplets and then
yeah.
and drink it up. So I think that's I think that's a creative way to keep hydration going.
I feel like the game has a lot of potential. We figured out, we played for a little over an hour, maybe almost an hour and a half, and we were able to pretty much play through all of the story portion of the game that exists within it right now. There's some objectives where you have to activate some sciencey type things, and eventually you get introduced to more of like the backstory of why you might be shrunk down into this yard. There's definitely more playability in the alpha stage if you're into the base building aspect, or looking to find more items and unlock other craftable things like that. But if you're looking for a game that has a fully fleshed out story, uh, at least one that has a satisfying conclusion or things like that, you may want to wait a little bit longer for Grounded. But in
Yeah.
terms of being in its alpha stage, I think it has a lot of potential, and I don't know, I enjoyed the time we spent with it.
Yeah, I'd really like to see where it ends up going with the story, because really the story is not that long for right now, and yeah, as you already mentioned, but they have a way. Eventually, you meet a character that is small with you that gives you quests that you can compete you can repeat, and then you get science points, and those science points unlock different recipes. They unlock different skills that you can equip, uh, and that's kind of cool. But that leads to a right now, because there's not a lot of story, just kind of repetition. It's like kill two mites, or kill a spider, or build
Yeah.
a doorway. The other thing was you build an axe, you can build a hammer, you can build a spear, you can build all these types of things. But right now, and maybe this is something that we just hadn't unlocked yet. There's tiers of those tools, and so we, in order to build a doorway for our house, we had to chop down a weed. Well, in order to chop down a weed, you need an axe level 2, and we never found out how to build an axe level 2.
Nope.
Um,
Which, and like you said, we maybe if we'd kept playing and unlocking more things, would eventually get there. But in terms of like the basic structures of a grass hut, um, I wouldn't want it to take that long to be able to build a door. I don't know. Maybe we just build an open, open walled area for a while. But yeah, Yeah. We need to get that weed.
We need to get that weed. Oh yeah, gotta get the that dank. Uh,
We're so street.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Is this something when they announce, hey, new update, or we have the final release version of Grounded? Do you think you'll revisit it?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would like this. I liked the game. I liked playing it with you. I thought it was a pretty good game for us to stream as well.
Yeah.
Uh, One because we talk about Minecraft on this show all the time. Minecraft is like, Minecraft, and it's hard to play Minecraft with you, much in the same way as it's hard for you to play Diablo 3 with me, or any game where there's progression, because I'm like, I know how to play this game, and I want to carry you along with me, and I want to power level you with me through this. And you're like, well, I'm not having fun with it because I'm just getting pulled along.
Yeah.
In Minecraft, it's similar for you because you have all the stuff, you know how the progression works so quickly, and 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 I have fun, but I'm like, I'm just gonna build a hole straight down until I hit bedrock.
Or lava,
Uh,
whichever one
yeah,
you're fortunate enough to hit.
whichever I hit first, and so my progression in that is much more loosey goosey.
Yeah, I guess I think about Minecraft a little bit differently because I consider it more of just like a world that exists, and I feel like even in a multiplayer realm, as they're called now, uh, you have the freedom to play together, but also play your very individual like versions of the game. To where, if I want to build a mansion on the hill with an auto, an auto wheat farm or something, like, yeah, I can do that. And if you want to go and build a bunch of square houses that, are all the same, material or whatever, like, you can do that also. But then if I'm like, hey, do you want to go explore the Nether together? Then there's an opportunity for us to do that. So I don't know. I think
There's a left and right limit for games like Grounded,
mhm.
where it still gives you the ability, the opportunity to do your own thing. Like you're going off on the quest to advance the story. I was taking the time to find other material and go into caves, and then use the science to research other recipes. And
Which, another interesting point on Grounded, as the game sits right now, you going to research something gave the results of that research to both of us. So, and also with objectives, if I went and activated the machine or whatever, we both progressed through the story, even if you're off doing something completely different. That it
jack jawing.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go fight these two spiders with my pebblet axe.
God, but those spiders are scary as hell, man.
It's yeah.
Bobby Neck. Hey, man.
Hey. Yeah. Overall, I think I'll give this game another shot as it progresses, and we'll check it out. But for now, I'll just keep an eye as they keep adding more, and maybe hopefully adjusting those menu options.
Now a game. Moving on from that, a game that you brought up to me very last minute. I'm going to say it, very last minute last night.
Yeah, it was a day ago at least. Yeah,
very last minute. If it's not like a weekend beforehand, it's last minute when it comes to Apathetic Enthusiasm, because this is hard hit. it's instantaneous, basically.
Yeah. On the bleeding edge of technology and entertainment news.
Which that's a game we're not going to review here.
Not on this episode. Probably not on any episode.
But it is a game that is on Steam. It is on mobile devices. It's a game that is very reminiscent of a Jackbox game, but it is not that. It's much more detailed and actually. But it's a game called Among Us. I'll just throw it out there.
Yeah. So, backstory for how I came across this game. I have a coworker who asked if I'd played it. Told him no. He said he was trying to get a group of people at work together to play this game. He was gonna bring a Wi-Fi router one day so that we could all just play together, because it is a multiplayer game. You do have to play with other people, and if you're playing with friends, which I know 2020 is not the best time to talk about getting together with a group of friends, but if you are with other people in a house, you can play over a local area connection. And this is the first way that I played it, right? Is we had about seven coworkers, all had the app on our phones, and we were in a room together so we could talk to each other about the game while we were playing it. The premise of the game is pretty simple. You're tiny little astronauts on a spaceship. Everybody is a crew worker, except for one member, depending on the settings, is an imposter. So all of the crew of the ship have a list of tasks that they have to complete, where you're running around to different rooms and doing these cool little tasks where you're adjusting something in navigation and then heading over to electrical to reroute some power, and then maybe you have to go and swipe your access card over in the admin section. So all of the crew is working on these things, and then the one imposter's job is to kill everybody on the ship.
Yeah.
You have to blend in. You have to look like you're doing tasks as well. But then when you catch somebody alone, you cut them in half and move along on your way. So as you, as a crew person, are moving through the ship, then if you discover one of these dead bodies, you can call a meeting, and then everybody gets to vote on who they think the imposter is. And whoever gets voted off is thrown out into space. And if the imposter is caught, the crew wins. If the imposter kills everybody or gets down to just like a couple people left, then the imposter wins. Very reminiscent of other party games, Mafia, things like that. Werewolf. Yeah. And so we played that. Rounds happen very quick. You can get through a round in like a few minutes. And so we tried Friday afternoon, and then I got a text on Sunday saying, hey, we're going to try and play an online game. If you guys can play Sunday night, let me know. So got the invite. I start loading it back up on my phone, and then somebody's like, hey, should we jump in Discord so that we can talk to each other? I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll go jump on Discord. And then I'm like, well, I'm sitting at my computer now. I'm just gonna buy this on Steam, which it's $5 on Steam, and then
$5.
$5 whole dollars. That's right.
I'm just kidding. I spent the $2 to take ads off.
Yeah. Which I think gives you like skins in the game too, which are a lot of fun. Yeah, so you can play on Steam. There is obviously the local play, online play with private rooms, and then there's also public rooms that you can join into. But yeah, you compare it to that Jackbox game, and it's funny because when I described the game to Sheena, she was like, "Oh, it's like that Jackbox game we played." And in premise, it is very much the same. You are a crew on a ship. You have an imposter. You have to determine who the imposter is and get him off the ship. But the gameplay itself is very different. You're running around a lot more, and at any point, like you're highly suspicious of everyone else. So if somebody like goes into a room with you, you're like, is this the guy? Is this the imposter? No, we're cool. Okay, we're cool. And then you go to walk out of the room and they kill you. So whereas with the Jackbox, it's more of like, okay, complete this task, answer this question. Oh, that person's question was a little bit different than this one's. I think maybe that's the imposter, right? So there's more action to this one, which is a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And I think you can get up to 10 players in a game, which I think would be a lot of fun. And then at that point, I think more than 7, you can up the number of imposters as well. So you can have
Yeah.
2 or 3, which then allows for imposters to work together, things like that. So it is really interesting. It's a fun game. I think it would be a great game for us to play with some of our listeners.
Yeah.
It would
Just like
be
Snake IO.
yeah, I think it'd be weird to stream it while we're playing because if they could see my screen, then they would know whether or not I was the imposter and things
Yeah.
like that. That would be kind of
Screen typing that shit.
that'd be kind of wonky. Maybe we could play some public games or something and people could watch, but.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like we need to play it. Maybe we'll play a few rounds and throw the video up on our Patreon for all the good Patreon friends.
Patreon.
Patreon.com/Rick and Morty Pod.
The game we're talking about on Jackbox is push the button.
Yeah.
And the reason we compare it to it immediately jumps out is because it is I don't know any other games right now in the past year or so that have been about an imposter on a space station and if you're trying to find that imposter and get rid of them. It in some ways it's like the Volcano / Dante's Peak / Ants versus Bugs Life of the video game world, where just is very very similar premises, but they're different. They're different IPs, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. I loaded up Among Us on my phone, and I went through the tutorial. Okay, I don't actually know what I'm doing, and then I'm like, you know what? F it. I'll jump right in. I want to jump right in, and I joined a public game after I talked to you about it, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, public games. I guess we can do that. I hopped into a game. It started. I played. I got maybe a minute in. I was following two guys. The two guys were walking into a room together, and I was following them. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go down south instead. And I was trying to control it, and I couldn't find anything to activate, any buttons to press or anything like that. And all of a sudden, emergency meeting. We get into the emergency meeting, and it brings up like a chat. And so if you're on mobile, and I think if you're on Steam too, it brings up a chat, and so people are talking to each other on chat, and they're like, "It was this guy. Oh, it was this guy. It was a." They immediately was like, "It's Wit. Wit is the guy. I saw him kill somebody else," and Wit didn't defend themselves,
Yeah.
and everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, it's Wit." So then you as
Was that guy's avatar blue?
No, he was oh, maybe he was.
Just because I played with a guy Wit, and I'm like, well, that'd be weird if you go randomly in a game with somebody that I knew from work.
Oh yeah, that would be weird. But then everybody voted on Wit, and then Wit got thrown out of the airlock, and Wit was the imposter, and that was the only time I've ever played. First time I played, last time I played. I'm a winner.
So I jumped into a public game, and I'm just like doing my thing, and I'm like I'm in a one room with somebody else where neither one of us are killing each other. I'm like, okay, cool. I got a witness to what's going on. I'm like taking care of a task. I go to another room, take care of a task. Go to a third room, find a dead body, make the report. I report the dead body. I call for a vote. First thing in the chat, it's a self-report. Pink self-reporting. It's definitely him. And I'm like, no, whoa, no. I just found this body here. It's definitely somebody else. And I was in this room with someone. And then everybody's like, nope, it's got to be him. It's got to be, yep, he's self-report. And come to find out, the guy that immediately was like, he's self-reporting, was the imposter.
Of course.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, and he ended up winning that round. But yeah, it was a solid play. It was
when you get booted, does the game end for you?
So that is interesting. If you die in the game, you become a ghost, which then allows you to move through walls, so you're not constricted by the layout of the ship, and you still have all of your tasks. So you are actually still able to complete your tasks as a ghost and try to help your team win, even though you've already died. So, yeah, it kind of, if you die but the game is still going, it's almost like an advantage for you because you can move around faster and get to things a little bit quicker. And I will say I've played many rounds of this over the weekend, have never, maybe once, but I'm pretty sure never completed a game where the crew won because they completed all their tasks.
Oh.
Typically, we've won because we've identified the imposter and thrown them off the ship. But yeah, so I don't know. I think it's a really interesting game. I think it's fun. I mean, if you have a mobile device, it's free. It's ad supported, but free. But definitely a game that you could play with friends and try out for yourself.
I think the first time I'm an imposter, I'm not going to do anything wrong, and I'm just going to do everything. I'm going to follow people.
Not going to kill anybody.
Not going to kill anybody. No emergency meetings are going to happen. We're just gonna go through it, and the ship is going to be saved. And then they'll be like, "What the hell? Who's the imposter?" And I'll be like, "Ha ha! It was me. I was the imposter, and I wanted you to live. I'm an imposter of an imposter."
It's the old double cross, double imposter, classic play.
Classic, and I'm gonna get an achievement.
And then you're gonna get booted because they're like, "Okay, this guy is the imposter and he doesn't even kill people. What's the point? Yeah. What a jerk!"
Wow, you just wasted 15 minutes of my life.
Thanks, Barnyard. Get out of here. Jeez.
Thanks, Barnyard.
Speaking of,
I want to play it. I do want to play it.
We're gonna play. Speaking of, we're gonna play. If you are not subscribed to our Twitch, even if you're subscribed to our YouTube, make sure that you are following us over on those streaming platforms. This Saturday night, help me with the date, Brandon. That is the 22nd of August. 22nd of August, pushing into the 23rd of August, especially on the East Coast. We are going to be helping our good friends over at geekaid.com with their 4th annual. Is that right?
I think it's longer than that. I think
it's 4th or 5th, I think.
Yeah.
Their Pain in the Assathon. This is a charity that they've been supporting the colon cancer.
Yeah, the Colorectal Cancer Alliance.
That's right.
The co-founder of Geekaid, former editor-in-chief, Chris Randazzo, they started the event to raise money for colorectal cancer awareness for his father-in-law, and so it's a 24-hour stream, kind of a weekend-long stream of playing pain in the ass games. So Dean, he long time Geekaid co-founder as well. Like, he plays a lot of Bubsy games. They play games that have just been notoriously difficult to play, and we've taken a part in it pretty much every year since they've started it as well. Me more than Travis, mostly because I don't tell him about it. But this year we're back. We're back together, and we're
getting
covering
the band back together.
We're covering the Steam /Nintendo /Xbox /PS4 game Overcooked 2.
That's right, the sequel to the. Hey, thank you, Mooby Nick 47 for the follow over here, following us up so that make sure they don't miss the stream this Saturday night. Yeah, we're gonna get our cooking on. We're gonna play Overcooked 2. We're gonna see how far we can get in this game, and then raise some money as well. So if you are on the East Coast, we are starting at midnight. Is that correct?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Travis. Because it's a constant stream. Geekade's doing a constant stream. They're doing a raid train essentially.
Oh, okay, perfect.
And so everyone is on their own channel. And what they want is the people who on their own channel to start streaming a little bit earlier. That way they can just raid right into it. So although we're scheduled for 12 to 2, 12 Eastern to 2 a.m. in the morning. We'll probably start at the latest 11:30 just to start. We won't. I don't think we'll start with Overcooked, but we will start talking. We'll start hanging out. Maybe play Among Us. I don't know. We'll see. But then we're gonna try to raise money for Geekade, for the Colorectal Cancer Alliance, and we'd love to have you there if you're free on Saturday night. We'll be there.
Saturday night. It's all right.
Throwing meat at Travis.
And in the meantime, make sure look up Geekade over on Twitch. You can follow them, follow their channel. Look for Vestlord. We've rated him a few times. Follow them. They'll have tons of coverage, great streams throughout the entire day. All going for a great cause. So, Pain in the Assathon, make sure you check that out. And if you're a creature of the night, so to speak, and you're going to be up very late like we will be, join us and hang out with us on stream while we stress out trying to fulfill orders and wash dishes and do all of those things that Overcooked 2 is so good at.
It's gonna be fun. Travis has played Overcooked. I've played Overcooked, and I think we're good at it separately, but we've never played it together.
Really, is that right? Wow. Okay.
And we're going to experience. We're both in leadership positions in our jobs, and we've never worked together as far as like delegation
having to delegate things. Well, we did do that escape room together before I left Hawaii. We did the escape room with our significant others.
I did let you take the lead,
and we definitely delegated to our wives, and then basically like we were
like, let me just drive the remote control. That's I don't care if we solve anything. I just want to drive the remote control puzzle.
Absolutely.
But this is a segue. Please show up on even if you don't follow us at 12. Please check out Geekade. Please support the Petathon. But I'm segueing here briefly because I play Overwatch 2. I've played it with a couple folks. I played it with my son, and he gets stressed out, and I feel bad about it. But I've also played it with my friend Deanne Driver, and Deanne Driver, her and I were pretty good at the game. This story is not about her. It's not about Overcooked. Actually, it's about her husband, Aaron. For a second, I was like, Adam Driver? No, that's
no. Wrong one.
Aaron Driver. So we play Grand Theft Auto with him. Me, Sizemore, his buddy. And one thing that we played a little bit of was Friday the 13th game, and just love Friday the 13th. Aaron got into this business of being like, you know what, I want to make a Friday the 13th mask. It can't be that difficult, and he started trying to make masks. He's like, I could probably make a business out of this, sell them for however much a pop, blah blah blah. So he started doing that, and he recently sent me one of his homemade Jason masks, and this is from Friday the 13th, the one where it's not actually Jason, it's from Roy. It's a paramedic. It's wonderful. It is primo quality.
Primo quality.
And so I just want to shout out Aaron Driver for one sending me a Jason mask. Well, strike that, a Roy mask for my birthday. And he that's not the only movie that he did the mask for. He also did the mask for 4, and I think he's working on later ones as well. So
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, let's wrap this show up. Big thanks to Julian Johnson for following us over on Twitch, as well as My Anime Podcast following us tonight. So lots of new followers hanging out on Twitch. We're so happy to have you here. We are streaming every Monday night, normally at 8. Tonight normally at 9 Eastern. We got a late start tonight, but thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for following. Thank you for being here. Twitch, YouTube, and now on Twitter. You can watch these videos, and you can also catch the videos. If you missed them live, go over to YouTube. All the videos are also there for your viewing enjoyment. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching. We're gonna go do a little post-show hangout with those on the live stream right now, and then we'll catch everybody Saturday night for some Overcooked 2. Until then, I'm Travis.
I am Brandon.
See you later.
Goodbye. But really, don't leave. You know,
don't leave. That's just for them. That's not for you.
Yeah. No, you guys hang out.
You guys
hang out.
You guys.
I mean, that's great.
That's a good looking mask.
It's
a Roy mask. A life well lived.
I mean, you know, like, oh, look at the quality, and you can still hear my voice behind this, can't you?
Yeah, no, for sure. You should just wear that every stream now.
There's probably less S's, and there's probably less.
That's a Casey Jones mask. I just saw that in chat. Casey was my boy. I was a big Turtles fan as a kid. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Happy Together.
Happy Together?
Yeah. They sang that song. Imagine me and you. I do. I think about you day and night.
The Turtles?
I think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy
together.
Yeah, that's right. That's the Turtles.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah. Also,
I can't see me.
I knew that song from Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh, yeah. Of course you did.
Does
that work for quarantine? Quick 6669 wants to know if your mask works for quarantine. If you throw, some double fabric on the inside of that, you got yourself a solid way to go to Walmart.
Omar asks, "Who the hell is Roy?" Omar, tomorrow at work I'll bring this mask so you can take a look at it. It's pretty badass. But in the history of the Friday the 13th series, it goes like this: the first movie, Jason's mom, Pamela Voorhees. Second movie, Jason.
Spoilers, by the way, guys.
Third movie, Jason. Fourth movie, Jason. Well, the fifth movie, checked. Is it the fifth movie? I think it's the fifth movie. Not Jason. It is actually. It's the only series. Well, it's the only movie, other than the first one, where it's not Jason who's the killer. It is a guy named Roy who was a paramedic who Jason killed his kid, and he went crazy. Ooh, he went crazy, and he was killing people in a Jason hockey mask, and that's why it's blue instead of the trademark red. And Jason didn't put his trademark hockey mask on until Friday the 13th 3.
So what did he have the first two?
Well, in the first one, he showed up at the very, very end in a dream sequence when he took Alice into the lake, and it was just his face. He didn't have a mask on. In the second one, it was like Woodsman Jason, and he had just kind of like a burlap sack over his head.
Mm.
In the third one, he what did he have in the third one? For a long time, he wasn't wearing the mask, and then eventually, one of the characters had a hockey mask that he was wearing, and Jason took the hockey mask from him, and that
became the iconic mask. Are those just mostly like slasher films?
Yeah, I would say they're slasher films. They get a little bit more supernatural towards the
Mm.
end. When you get to Jason Takes Manhattan, it becomes a little absurd.
Jason Takes Manhattan. Is that a real movie?
Yeah, it's that's Friday the 13th, 7th.
Okay.
It takes Manhattan. And
Uh,
the majority of it takes place on a boat, and very very little of it's actually filmed in Manhattan. But he does end up in Times Square for a little bit.
all right. I was talking a little bit about Host with Sheena,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, yeah, this movie. Here's how they made it. Brandon was talking about it on the podcast. I actually made her listen to the first like 10 minutes of last week's episode because we were driving somewhere and my Bluetooth kicked on like in the car,
Oh yeah.
and it started playing our podcast. And I was like, I'm just gonna roll with it. And she's kind of glared at me like, why are you making me listen to this? But anyway, and then I saw like an article about Host, and then I was on Rotten Tomatoes looking up Project Power, which
Oh
I
yeah.
watched this weekend, but we will not talk about until you watch it. Um, and yeah, it's like still like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I
Yeah.
was I was kind of trying to like, hey, is this something you'd be interested in watching? And she's like, no, I don't want to watch that at all. No. So
Well, she's not into. Well, I mean, you guys aren't horror folks, but
yeah,
she's also not into supernatural stuff.
yeah. Honestly, like a slasher type movie, like Scream or something like that. Like she used to watch those all the time. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She's not as freaked out about that stuff. It's the supernatural stuff more
Okay.
so that freaks her out.
I know my sister-in-law. If it's a story about ghosts and stuff like that, that's the limit for her. Like,
Mhm.
I can't do that type of stuff. Yeah, if you want my Shutter login just to check it out.
Just
Yeah,
tell me right now on stream. I'm sure it's
yeah.
fine.
It is
Don't stop
Brandon
it.
Brandon.Shutter. And
www.brandon.shutter 100 years shutter rickandmorty.shutter.com
the password
www
the password is apathetic enthusiasm show at gmail.com.
patreon.com/rickandmortypod is the password. Don't miss it.
uh,
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
yeah. Um, uh, Nick mentioning the sleeping bag murder scene, which is just such a great kill, where Jason takes the girl who's in a sleeping bag and then smashes her against a tree with it, and then repeat the gag for Jason X. Omar mentioning Kilroy Was Here trailer, a new Kevin Smith horror movie. Uh, I used to have a greater fondness for Kevin Smith back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I just kind of grew over him.
Pour
I
one
think the
out for
last
Bob Carroll if he's listening.
the
Yeah.
last thing I really enjoyed from Kevin Smith was Zach and Miri Make a Porno, and I think that was like the last that was last because then he came out with, like Tusk,
Yeah.
and Red State was a thing that he came out with, and then he was doing all the podcast smodcast stuff, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
he was shopping around the Jay and Silent Bob respooted, which was like I don't think it got an actual theatrical release. I think it was it's weird. Like they rebooted a bunch of old Jay and Silent Bob like clips or something from movies and put it together as like a Jay and Silent Bob movie, which we've already gotten one of those too. But I didn't see it, and I'm sure it's available somewhere for money. But I was a huge Mallrats fan.
Yeah.
Really liked that movie, and Mallrats 2 is still I don't know. It could be good. It could be not so good.
It
But
just, it kind of reminds me of like because I think he can be a good director, and I think he can do good stuff. I just I don't know. I just I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. About it. I'm over him.
Yeah, yeah.
Which it's sad. It's sad because I like his movies. I speaking of movies, this last week Joe Bob Briggs was on for his for a slumber party sleepover, and he showed a couple different movies. The first movie he showed was uh, Slumber Party Massacre 2, and then the second movie was Victor Crowley, which is the fourth movie in the Hatchet series by Adam Green. I'll start with Party Massacre 2. The killer's name in Slumber Party Massacre 2 is the Driller Killer, and it is a really it's a strange movie. There's some decent effects in it, but it turns into like a weird like rockabilly musical horror film where this guy is like dressed in leather. He's got an electric guitar, but at the end of that electric guitar, there's a drill that spins, and then before he kills anybody, and I was watching this with the kiddo Friday night. Before he kills anybody, he goes into song and dance. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, and the drill's going on the guitar. It's a strange flick. But then Victor Crowley by Adam Green, who also directed Frozen. He directed the Hatchet series.
Not the award-winning animated film Frozen.
No. The
All
film.
right, I'll let it go then.
Where these people get stuck on a ski lift overnight and they're trying to survive. Pretty good movie, but so Victor Crowley, that one's okay. You can tell to a certain extent when directors are they have good vision and they want to keep doing stuff, but their budget keeps shrinking, and that's kind of how Victor Crowley was, in the sense that like they have pretty good iconic horror characters in there. Kane Hodder, who the aforementioned Friday the 13th series, is the titular Victor Crowley, and some other the I forget her name from Sleepaway Camp, but whatever. Anyways, the budget goes down. They do their best with it. They still have a vision, but they're just limited by kind of cheesiness
For
because
money.
they have to make cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what the point of that was, but watch horror. I like it.
Yeah, you
Well,
do.
I'll
Yeah, you
get-
do.
I'll get you my account on Shudder.
This guy does for sure. I don't know what else I watched this week. I watched another episode of Muppets Now.
Oh yeah. Real quick, Zombievers is better than Tusk. Changed my mind. I don't. You've never seen Zombievers.
Nope.
It is such a dumb, such a dumb movie, and I thank you, Nick, for making me watch that. You know what? You know, what movie is great. Zombies. where all the zoo animals get infected by a zombie plague, and it's like one of those like horrendously shitty low budget films where like these people like these heroes end up riding on elephants, but it never shows the full screen. They just like show this
It's
much.
just like,
yeah.
wow, you can really see a lot from up on this elephant.
In standard audio of like.
You can see a guy in the back like,
Yeah, quick 669. Yes, like Birdemic bad. I would maybe arguably worse. It's like all the sci-fi movies, like Sharktopus versus Vulture-nado, right? Like the graphics are not what you go there for. You go there because you're drunk or you're high or you don't want to think about the world in its current state.
yeah, because you turn on the news and it's a horror film. So
You're like what's more garbage dump fire right now? You know what? This movie.
yeah, let's it'll make me feel better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I'm doing. I still have my Netflix suggestions from last week. I started Batman: Mask of Phantasm, and quickly stopped watching it because life got in the way or something. But I'll try to watch that one again.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I've been doing? I've been building a lot of characters, Brandon.
Oh yeah.
I in less than 24 hours, I am running a D&D campaign for 5 other people, none of which have ever played D&D and whose ages range from 8 to 38. Not quite. But yeah. So I'm playing D&D with my family tomorrow, and they've all agreed to do it because I pulled the birthday card and said, "You have to play with me because it's my birthday." So yeah, my son seems really interested. He keeps asking me about his character. He's gonna play a Dragonborn fighter. He's excited about it. He's drawn his character. He's asking about his different weapons and what he can do. My oldest kid, she's a nerd. She's a lot like me. So she's fully bought into D&D and is excited to try it. Yeah, so it's gonna be real interesting. There's gonna be a lot of rule explanations and kind of walking them through stuff. But I'm probably more optimistic than I should be about how this is gonna go down. And I don't know.
Let me ask you a question, Travis. You know, it's your birthday's coming up soon, and we're gonna end the stream before it actually is your birthday. So happy birthday!
Yeah, I guess we will.
Everybody in chat, you know, make sure you say happy birthday to Travis. He's turning 50 tomorrow.
Yeah, finally the big 50.
The silver anniversary of his birth. What was I gonna say? Let me ask you this. If you were to kill off one of your family members' characters, who would you,
good qualifier there?
Who would you feel that would be able to handle it? Who would you feel would handle it the best?
Any family member, to include my wife?
Yeah,
because she would be great. She'd be like, "Does that mean I'm done? Can I go now? Is that fine? Am I done?" Yeah, I mean, she'd handle it the best. If I had to say just my kids, I think my eldest probably would, because even though this is her first like real time playing, it's like the third character she's made. So I think she realizes like you can make more characters, and like, I don't know, she's excited about her character. She's got a half elf druid. She's pretty stoked to roll out there with.
So you probably think then, like, if you were to kill off her character because of the role, not because you're cruel, right? That she would probably be like, "Oh, gee willikers, darn it! I wanna watch the rest of this game."
Yeah. She would.
She would like stick around and be like, "Okay, I want to see other people die."
Who's gonna join me in the ethereal plane? Also, thank you everyone for the birthday chat wishes.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for wishing him a birthday and not me.
It's Brandon's birthday too. Did you guys know it's Brandon's birthday?
Yeah, I only got like 2 birthday wishes that Travis forced on me. And
yeah, it just shows that you're a more convincing person.
And I know personally more people in this chat than you do.
Absolutely, you do.
And they all said happy birthday to you. Fuck you, Nick. Fuck you, Julian. Fuck you, Omar. Fuck you, Matt. I think I think Matt didn't even wish me happy birthday. You piece of garbage. He did.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it'll be good. I obviously am not going to stream it. This is the other part of this that will be interesting. Is this is the first time where I've really had a a large group of people playing D&D together, not utilizing like Roll20
Oh,
or
yeah,
some
sure.
online situation. So I have printed out character sheets for all of them after I built all their characters. And I gotta bring the dice out there. I gotta set up a DM screen. Yeah, it's gonna I have little index cards that I made back when we played this campaign the first time that I found, so I don't have to remake them. But I made cards for all their players so I could track initiative that way and stuff. And it's gonna be interesting. I will have lots to talk to you about, I'm sure, after
Okay.
it's all said and done. And really, the coolest thing, the best thing I could get for my birthday would be for us to end this session with a majority saying, "That
Yes,
was
Nick.
fun. Let's do that again sometime." If half or more, so only 3 people, if 3 people could say, "That was fun. I want to keep going." It's a win. It's a win.
Win in your book.
Birthday wish comes true. And then we'll play again next year on my birthday.
Yeah,
So,
it becomes a tradition. You know,
yeah.
it is very much like Joe Bob Briggs with my son.
There you go.
I,
Except that happens way more often than once a year.
it does. The things I force tradition on with my family, like, well, I mean, the Minority Report thing, like, it's just, oh, ha ha ha. Well, never mind, that's a bad one because I didn't force anything on him. But we'll start with a Joe Bob. Just this last weekend, I did the Podfest thing on Friday, and then Joe Bob was at night. But before Joe Bob, there was a mixer, a virtual mixer thing.
Networking event for fellow podcasters.
Right. And so I hopped in there, and they're doing, speed networking type of, like, what's your podcast, but blah 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 blah, and then they had where they would give, like, each person in this Zoom call, like, 10 to 30 seconds to say something about themselves or about Podfest or whatever. And there were like 64 people in the room, in the call. Like, I don't want to just leave. I want to be able to say something, and and I hate myself because I'm like, I just want to say something to get my face out there and actually show my personality or whatever. But it was just taking so long. And Joe Bob starts at 9, and this thing was lasting so long, and then it ended up lasting till 10. By the way, all those Podfest people are amazing. I'm just talking about myself, and like I don't feel great networking and being like that. It's not who I am normally. But anyways, going back to it. It ended at like 10. And then after it was over, I ran over. I was like, son, we're missing Joe Bob. We're missing Joe Bob. And we ran out there, turned it on. He's like, oh no, we missed an hour. And then he was upset about it. He's like, oh no, we missed an hour of it. And Chelsea, my wife, you know my wife, she was like, it makes you feel good, doesn't it? Like, yeah, it makes me feel good.
You know what? It does. You're right.
He cares about this time that we share together. And it's important, and it makes me feel good that he cares that much to want to spend that time with me. Even though generally he gets bored from them talking about the movies or doing the interview pieces afterward. Like, it's still a time to sit down with each other.
Yeah.
He stays up super late, eats popcorn, drinks a Sprite, whatever, and I fall asleep on the couch, and
He's just poking you with a stick.
He woke me up a couple times during Victor Crowley and was like, "This part's Dad. They're talking so much. They're boring." And I'm like, "I'm asleep, man. Look, If you want to go to bed, you can go to bed if you want. Whatever.
Listen,
You
either
stay-
eat your popcorn, drink your soda, watch the Boogans, or don't.
or
all
go
right?
to sleep. We're spending time together, or you're
This is
sleeping.
quality time with your father. Just leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Ugh, I could have been something. But I never did.
Do you have Among Us on a device near you?
I do. Of course I do.
Do we want to try and play before we get off stream, or do we want to do we not want to do this live?
I don't think we should do it live. Just I think we should do a little bit of extra setup because otherwise it's going to be us like this.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a real good point, Brandon. I like where your head's at.
Oh, I killed somebody.
Yeah, I'll set it up so that we can stream it. We'll post the video over on Patreon because that's what we do.
Okay.
What was that?
that was me. That was me plugging things into my headphones.
Uh,
Oh, you want to see something?
Yeah.
Stay right where you are. I'll be right back.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna stay here. Brandon's gonna leave. Thank you, everybody that hung out tonight. Great turnout in the stream. Thank you for all the new followers. Whether Brandon paid you or not, still feels good. So, whether you followed here or on YouTube or both, because I just saw the updates that we got some new subs over on the YouTubes as well. Thanks, dudes. Dudes being ambiguous term, could mean anyone, regardless of how you identify. Yeah, I knew he paid you. Oh.
I'm Jason. Let's talk about our series 1 through 13.
It's not Jason, it's Roy. Nick calling you out. He can't hear us, guys. Did you use that puppet head as your display for the mask?
I'm going to. It is, by the way, that your puppet head is right. Like I had it on like a stand right at my door, and if I forget that it's there and I'm leaving at the end of the night, just those fucking bulging eyes are just staring at me, and I'm like damn it.
We'll do behind the scenes office tour. My puppet that we did for the puppet challenge is by my office door, so he's just like right over there. Like there's my handy wiring for my Ethernet, and then he's just like right there by the door, just like. Yeah, and I've had a few moments where I'm like, oh, why did I leave that there? That's not good. But all right, well, I think that's gonna wrap up our this stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, being the awesome folks that you are. I'm gonna check real quick. Yeah, Geekade's not streaming.
No, Vestlord's not streaming right now. Old bestie.
No, he's not streaming either. So,
he was there, I think.
Yeah, guys, go. Let me check him out here over on Twitch. Geekade. Shoot, do we follow Geekade on this account?
Best_Lord is who streams all the time, day and night, except for right now. Ooh, let's go follow Nico.
Wait, Geekade is hosting us right now.
Oh, hey, Geekade.
What up, Geekade? Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you're over on the Geekade channel, and for anybody else that's not, it's Geekade, Geekade. Go follow them over on Twitch and check out everything that they're doing for Petathon this Saturday. Yeah, and that's gonna do it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great evening, and we will see you this weekend.
I just made a joke to Nick. He says, "Make sure you check out my OnlyFans," and my joke is, "I am your OnlyFan."
There was some silly OnlyFans banter that turned into a race war. You triple nipple, you ripple nipple freak. Over on Patreon this week. That was fun with good old Aberdolf Linkler.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna
Out.
post these for your listening pleasure, and we'll talk to you later.